Two worlds are pulling toward one fire. Outlander holds the flame. Blood of my blood brings the spark. The gathering is where they meet. Stay close. Because every choice made by parents in the past may shape the love that defies time in the future. Before we step into the gathering, we need to understand the force that started it all. Outlander is more than a love story. It is a journey across wars, cultures, and years that refuse to stay in their place. At the heart are Claire and Jamie. She is a healer who falls through time. He is a Highland warrior with honor in his bones. Together they stand against storms that would break most people. Their bond is strong because it is tested in every way. When they are apart, the world feels off balance. When they are together, it feels like fate has finally spoken. Outlander draws its power from simple things that feel big. Promise kept. Home built in a wild land. A hand held in the dark. The show treats these moments with care. We see how choices echo across years. We watch love hold firm as kingdoms fight, as families form, as danger grows. The land is a character too. Scotland's hills and mists carry memory. America's forests and rivers hold risk and hope. The settings change, yet the heart of the story stays clear. Love is work. Love is courage. Love is choosing the same person again and again. Fans return to Outlander because it blends tender scenes with sharp stakes. One day brings quiet at a hearth. Next brings the sound of marching boots. Claire's skill saves lives, but also draws trouble. Jamie's honor wins allies, but also invites rivals. Even in peace, the past is never fully asleep. Letters cross. Years' heirlooms carry secrets. Names become legends that refuse to fade. This is why every season feels tied to the last. It is one long thread that we follow with care, knot by knot. This legacy matters for the gathering because it sets the rules of this world. In Outlander, family is not just blood, it is vow and trust and pain shared. Home is not just a place. It is the people you would cross seas and centuries to protect. When we hear of a gathering, we do not only think of a feast, we think of clans meeting under a sky thick with meaning. We think of alliances made by firelight. We think of a young man learning what his father did to keep the line alive. We think of a young woman realizing why her mother never gave up. So when STArz opens the door to Blood of My Blood, it is not a new hall, separate and cold. It is the same house, lit from another room. The legacy of Outlander makes that light warm. The gathering becomes a bridge between eras. It lets us watch how a story we love was born from other stories we have yet to hear. And as we step onto that bridge, we carry with us the truth Outlander taught us. Love can cross time. Duty can shape destiny. And a single meeting can change the path of generations. Imagine standing at the edge of a story you already know, then realizing there is a door you never opened. That is what Blood of My Blood offers. We have walked beside Claire and Jamie through their battles, their heartbreaks, and their triumphs. But this prequel pulls back the curtain on the people who came before them. It asks a haunting question. Who shaped the hearts that would one day change history? Blood of My Blood is not just a tale of parents, it is a map of origins. For Jamie Fraser, it leads us to his mother Ellen MacKenzie and his father Brian Fraser. Their love was not simple, nor was it safe. She was the daughter of a powerful clan, bound by expectations that weighed heavier than armor. He was a man of courage, but not the match her family would have chosen. Their union was forged in defiance, carrying both risk and beauty. The courage Jamie shows later in life does not rise out of nothing. It is rooted in his parents' choices and the quiet strength they passed to him long before he took his first step. Claire's parents stand on the other side of this story. Julia Moriston and Henry Beauchamp belong to another time and another world. Far from the Highlands, yet their tale carries the same thread of resilience. Julia was strong-willed, with a mind unwilling to bow to silence. Henry, shaped by duty and tradition, found himself drawn to her fire. Their struggles, though different from Ellen and Brian's, planted the seeds that would bloom in Claire. Her bravery, her stubborn heart, her refusal to let the world write her story. These qualities echo back to the lives of the people who raised her. What makes Blood of My Blood unique is how it treats destiny. In Outlander, we often see love and fate bending across centuries. In the prequel, destiny is not about time travel or bending history. It is about the lives of two couples who dared to love in a world that did not welcome them. Their stories might not carry the thunder of wars or the weight of time stones, but they carry the kind of quiet storms that shape generations. A father's decision to stand by his love, a mother's courage to leave behind a path chosen for her. These acts ripple forward, unseen, until they crash into the lives of Claire and Jamie. This makes Blood of My Blood more than a companion piece. It is the hidden heartbeat of Outlander. It shows us that the strength we admire in Claire and Jamie is not only their own, it is a legacy of sacrifices we never saw until now. Every whispered vow, every hard choice, every moment of resistance passed down through blood becomes part of their story. The Gathering becomes the stage where these threads are woven together. It is where the old and new meet, where we learn that to understand the fire of Claire and Jamie, we must first feel the sparks that came from their parents. Blood of My Blood does not stand behind Outlander. It stands beside it, making the universe richer, deeper, and more human than before. A gathering is never only a meeting of people. It is a circle of stories. Around the fire sit the living, but beside them, unseen, are the voices of those who came before. That is the heart of the Gathering in both Outlander and Blood of My Blood. It is not simply a feast or a clan ritual. It is a symbol, a thread binding past to present, binding parents to children, binding destiny to choice. In the Highlands, a gathering is an event of weight. Clans arrive with pride stitched into their tartans. Promises are sworn under the eye of chiefs and kin. The land itself feels alive when so many hearts beat together. But in this universe, the Gathering is more than tradition. It becomes a mirror. For Jamie, it reflects the echoes of his father's courage and his mother's defiance. For Claire, it whispers the resilience of her parents across the divide of time. The Gathering pulls these legacies into one place. It's reminding us that no love exists without the sacrifices of those who came before. The uniqueness of the Gathering lies in its dual meaning. On one side, it is flesh and blood. Families join alliances, are made, feuds are healed or sharpened. On the other side, it is spiritual. It is the unseen presence of ancestors, watching the choices of their descendants, urging them forward. Blood of My Blood leans into this meaning, showing us how the first bonds of family shape generations we already know. Showing how Claire and Jamie carry those unseen voices into every battle, every loss, and every triumph. When STArz ties these stories together through the Gathering, it is not only for drama. It is to remind us that history is not a straight road. It is a circle where names return, values repeat, and lessons are carried like torches across time. The Gathering becomes the place where those torches pass from hand to hand. It asks, what did the parents stand for, and how will their children carry it? Will they honor it, or will they break it? This idea makes the Gathering more than a backdrop. It is a living bridge. We do not just see Claire and Jamie. We feel the weight of Brian and Ellen. We do not just watch a new series unfold. We sense the pull of legacies waiting to be claimed. In this way, the Gathering is not only a Highland tradition, but the core design of the Outlander universe. It is where destinies are shaped, where bloodlines breathe together, and where the past holds hands with the future. Picture a fire in the middle of a dark hall. The flames leap high, lighting every face. But just behind the circle, there is shadow. Where secrets hide, that is what the Gathering represents. It is warmth, kinship, and shared promise. But it is also rivalry, fear, and truths waiting to spill. When STArz places the Gathering at the heart of Outlander and Blood of My Blood, it is not just about bringing characters together. It is about showing us that every bond has two sides. In the Highlands, gatherings were times of loyalty and pride. Men and women stood shoulder to shoulder under banners that marked their clan. Oaths were spoken with voices strong enough to echo. Against the hills, yet even as hands clasped in friendship, eyes watched for weakness. An alliance made at a feast could collapse by morning. The gathering was both shield and sword. This dual nature gives it a sharp power in storytelling. Becomes the stage where joy and betrayal can dance side by side in blood of my blood. The gathering is roar, more uncertain. Here, we see how Ellen MacKenzie and Brian Fraser must face a world that questions their love. Every look, every whispered word carries weight. Behind their union lies the tension of clans, politics, and expectations. Their fire burns in plain sight, but shadows close in. The gathering magnifies their struggle, forcing them to choose between what is safe and what is true. Outlander carries that same energy forward with Claire and Jamie. When they stand at a gathering, they are not only celebrating, they are also stepping into the same shadows their parents once faced. For Claire, whose parents' story is told, far from the Highlands, the gathering feels like stepping into a tradition she never knew, yet somehow belongs to. For Jamie, it is blood memory, a reminder of what his family lost and what he must protect. The fire and shadow of the gathering lives in both their veins. What makes this moment unique is how it connects across time. The flames that warmed Ellen and Brian flicker again when Jamie and Claire stand together. The shadows that tested Julia and Henry's bond rise again when their daughter refuses to yield to fate. The gathering is not locked in one age. It is a ritual that repeats, each time adding new names, new vows, and new trials. This is why STArz calls attention to it. The gathering is not just scenery, not just a feast set for the eye. It is the place where we watch history fold into itself, where every choice matters because it is never only about the person who makes it. It is about the children yet to come, the loves yet to burn, and the stories waiting to be told. In fire, we see what must endure. In shadow, we see what must be overcome. And in the circle between them, we see the heart of this universe beat. With old and new blood alike, when you look at Jamie Fraser, you do not only see a Highland warrior. You see the shadow of Brian Fraser's quiet strength, the glimmer of Ellen MacKenzie's defiance. When you follow Claire Beauchamp, you are not only watching a healer out of time, you are tracing the steps of Julia Moriston's fire and Henry, Beauchamp's unshakable resolve. The gathering pulls these reflections into focus. It asks us to see characters not as single figures, but as mirrors carrying the faces of those who shaped them. Brian Fraser was not a man of noise. His strength came in silence, in the way he stood without falter, even when the ground threatened. To break beneath him, his patience, the steady hand lives on in Jamie. Every time Jamie holds back his fury until the right moment, every time he takes pain without letting it shatter him, we hear Brian's voice in the echo. Yet Jamie also carries Ellen. Her courage was not the calm kind. It was the courage of a flame that refused to dim. When Jamie challenges fate, when he risks everything for love, that spark belongs to her. He is not only himself, he is the union. Of both their fires, Claire's story bends in the same way. Julia Moriston did not bow to silence or allow the world to write her script. That spirit becomes the spine of Claire's choices. It is why she can stand in a century not her own and refuse to vanish. Henry Beauchamp, with duty pressed upon his shoulders, gave Claire something else, an instinct for balance, for responsibility, even when her heart pulls against it. This is why Claire can carry the burden of healer, wife, and mother all at once, even as time tears her apart. In her we see the stubborn fight of Julia and the anchored weight of Henry braided together. The uniqueness here is not just in seeing where traits come from. It is in how legacies blend and change. Blood does not simply repeat itself. It adapts, reshapes, and creates something new. Jamie is not a copy of Brian or Ellen. Claire's not a mirror image of Julia or Henry. They are continuations, threads, twisted into patterns their parents never could have imagined. The gathering makes these parallels sharp because it places past and present in one circle. Parents stand in one half, children in the other. their choices reflected like firelight bouncing between them. For fans, this opens a deeper truth. Outlander has always been about love that bends time. Blood of My Blood reveals it is also about inheritance. Not of land or wealth, but of values, courage, and flaws. When Jamie risks everything for his family, he is answering the question Brian once faced. When Claire defies the rules of her world, she is reliving the fire Julia once carried. These echoes are not accidents. They're the heart of why these stories connect. The gathering then becomes more than a cultural ritual. It becomes a mirror. Room, where every face reflects another, where every decision casts a shadow across generations. By showing us Jamie and Claire through the lives of their parents, STArz is not just giving us more history. They are showing us that no character stands alone. Each is a reflection, and each reflection holds a story waiting to burn bright. Every story invites whispers. An Outlander has always lived in that space between what is shown and what is guessed. Blood of My Blood opens even more doors for fans to wonder what might wait behind them. The gathering is not just a ritual inside the story, it has become a ritual outside it as well, where viewers gather their theories like clans once gathered. At the fire, each voice adds a spark, until speculation feels almost as alive as the series itself. One whisper follows the idea of echoes. If Jamie is shaped by Brian and Ellen, and Claire by Julia and Henry, then which moments in Blood of My Blood will foreshadow the choices their children make decades later? Some fans imagine we will see Brian face a duel that mirrors Jamie's own battles of honor. Others think Ellen's defiance against her clan will resemble Claire's refusal to bow to the rules of a time not her own. These echoes, if true, would make Blood of My Blood feel like destiny folded back on itself. Perfect circle of cause and effect. Another theory lingers in the shadows of the prequel hidden characters. Could familiar names from Outlander appear in their younger forms? Perhaps a MacKenzie, whose loyalty or betrayal lays the path for future conflicts. Perhaps a Beauchamp relative carrying a story that explains Claire's strange pull toward resilience. These appearances, even if brief, could be the threads that stitch the two series together. With greater force than anyone expects, the boldest whispers imagine the gathering as a mystical hinge. Not just a meeting of clans, but a symbolic door that connects eras. Outlander has already shown us that time bends, that love crosses centuries. Could the gathering hold rituals or words that, in their repetition, echo through generations like an unseen current? A phrase spoken by Ellen at a fire might return in Jamie's voice years later. A vow made by Henry might surface in Claire's heart when she faces loss. The idea is not that magic passes through the circle, but that memory does, stronger than any stone. What makes these theories powerful is not whether they prove true. It is that they reveal how deeply fans live inside this universe. They treat Blood of My Blood not as a side story, but as the hidden root of a tree they already love. Every hint, every glimpse of the gathering is read like a secret letter waiting for meaning to unfold. Speculation itself becomes part of the drama, a second layer of story that belongs to the audience. STArz seems to know this. By naming the gathering, by tying it so directly to both shows, they invite us to keep whispering. They remind us that Outlander has always been more than a tale on screen. It is also a world carried in the minds of those who watch. The gathering inside the story mirrors the gathering outside it, where fans come together with theories as their torches. And in those whispers, the fire of Outlander burns brighter still. Stories like Outlander do not end, they transform. Blood of My Blood proves this by returning us to the place where all things begin, the choices of parents, the vows of lovers, the courage of those who came before. The gathering is not only a tradition within the Highlands, it is the perfect image for this universe itself. It is a circle, alive with fire, where each spark comes from another, where each flame lights the next. When we think of Claire and Jamie, we see love that has defied war, time, and death itself. But now, through Blood of My Blood, we understand that their strength is not theirs alone. It is the inheritance of Ellen and Brian, Julia and Henry, names once hidden in shadow, but now stepping forward into the fire. Their joys and sacrifices built the soil from which Claire and Jamie grew. Courage is not gone, it is alive. In the way Jamie faces a blade without fear, the way Claire holds to love when the world calls it impossible, the gathering gathers us too. Fans who have walked with Outlander for years now stand ready to step into a new chapter, carrying memory like a torch. Around this fire we meet again, not just to watch but to feel how our own lives echo in these stories. Every vow broken, every promise kept, every risk taken for love it, all mirrors our own longing to belong. To be remembered, to pass something forward. That is why this world is more than fiction. It is reflection, STArz knows. What they are weaving, Outlander, is the legend that caught our hearts. Blood of my blood is the heartbeat we did not hear until now. Together, through the gathering, they form a single universe where time bends, but love holds steady, where legacies matter as much as battles, where the past is not buried but breathing. So when the circle closes, do not think of it as an ending. Think of it as another fire being lit. Outlander's flame burns into blood of my blood, and that flame will keep spreading as long as there are voices to tell the tale. The gathering has begun, and its echoes will carry far beyond the screen. And now, it is your turn. What do you see in this circle?